I just watched a lovely movie called Delia and Sammy with these two producers. And say your name so everybody can hear the correct pronunciation and speak up too.
Hi, my name is Cher Bautista, and
And I'm William Jones, producer.
Okay. And one of the beautiful things I liked about your movie was it covered dementia. So, did you meet with people who had dementia, or physicians, nurses, or was it something that you read up on?
Therese is the writer and the director for this project. She did read up a lot on the sickness with dementia, and I believe she also was able to meet a few older people who were beginning dementia.
Okay. And what are your goals with this movie and coming to the festival? Because some people come to the festival to get their movie on HBO or Stars, Cinemax, things like that. And some people come to the festival to get picked up and distributed. I almost said distribution and distributed at the same time. I guess I should say distribution. So what do you want?
Really
Well,
happy to
yeah.
Streaming? Do you want streaming? Or?
Well, I mean, distribution is not our goal with this festival because some obligations, but the main reason is just to help people be aware of Filipino cinema. I mean, it's an interesting story with complex characters, from a foreign country, and if people can relate and laugh and cry with it, then that's what we want. That's our goal with the movie. I mean, at the end of the day, that's what any filmmaker wants. Now you're talking about like the marketing goals
Yeah.
or all that stuff.
How do you want people? Because people could, right now, like the whole point, in case anybody's wondering, is like, so whoever's watching this on YouTube or streaming, or however you manage to get this interviews, that you can watch this movie. So how do you want these people who are watching this to watch your movie?
Again, it's a little bit more complicated with that to answer that question because of some obligations we have as a company and stuff. So it's not really it's not up to us where it gets distributed currently.
Okay.
So-
But what about in the Philippines?
We have a distributor.
You do?
Yes.
Okay, that's good. That's excellent. That's what I was at least hoping. And then I saw something long before I knew I was meeting you two about how Quentin Tarantino was a rare filmmaker because he, for The Hateful Eight, worked with people who were not 20-somethings and 30-somethings. So, and his answer was, they were joking back and forth in his interview about how, like, are you sure this film is marketable? Because, so is, with the director, how did she decide upon older people? And it's really well acted too. It's not like it's just a standard boring movie. But
I mean, I can't really attest to exactly what started her process on this. She just had an idea of an elderly couple that had no one to turn to at the end, and if she can make it, a sympathetic story about love and redemption, and that's what her attempt was, and I think she succeeded very well.
what about you? How do you feel about older people? I mean, older meaning like 40 to 80 to 100, because we don't see a lot of people who are above 35 in cinema.
I think one thing I talked about with Therese while the story was still in development was how love stories for older people are not so represented, and parallel to that, love stories of older people who are not so nice. So, double whammy. What happens to the villain, right? Do they get their happy ending? Do they get their love story? So this also looked into that like the older, more mature love story. This is what we were trying to talk about.
And how did you want people to feel in parts of the movie, like say the ending or in the middle when she's upset with her ex-husband, with her current husband, who's kind of like, he's almost her ex because he doesn't realize it's her, and then he's someone who has cheated on her.
Go, Will. I would never.
And it's a hard question to answer because, like, the way I look at it is that the story, the state that Sammy's in, he's really kind of like not the person that everybody wants to hate because he can't be because of his dementia and his Alzheimer's. He can't be held accountable because he doesn't understand why. So you have to just kind of let go of that and focus on Delia and her motivation and her love and her anger and her, can she redeem herself from what she's done? Because she's complacent in some of the things that happen. So it's about Delia.
How did you all convince her? And I'm sorry, I forgot the lead actress's name. But how do you all convince her take on this role from a small independent film? Because she's very famous,
Yeah,
actually,
she is.
in the Philippines. That's I know who. In truth, my dad used to live in the Philippines briefly when he was younger. I'm not joking. Like earlier, I was teasing you, but this is true. He used to live in the Philippines. So, and he would be more familiar with her work, definitely. But he always raves about life in the Philippines and the food and culture and everything. So, how did you convince this very famous lady?
One, the script was sent to her by a very well-known producer, and her daughter read it, actually, another very legendary actress, and wondered if she could do the role. But we were like, no, it really is for a much older woman, and we were looking at your mother to do the role, and she read the script, Miss Rosemary Hill, and she just fell in love with it. And you know, we had one meeting, and by the end of that meeting, she said, "Okay, I'm on board."
You're very lucky.
Yeah, we are.
I know that you said 5 minutes, so I want to wrap this up. So, is there anything that I'll give each of you an opportunity to say something about your movie, so people watch it, pick it up for distribution in America or the UK, Australia?
I mean, we're still submitting to festivals, and we want to get as many people to see the films. So check out your festival screenings, and hopefully we come to a theater near you. That's about it right now.
What would you like to say?
No, and thank you for everyone who came out to the Austin Film Festival. Thank you for this North American premiere. As Will said, we're also going to other festivals soon. So yes, check out your local festivals. Hopefully we'll see you there.
And I will close this by saying that one of my mottos is that the wonderful thing about making friends is that they are teasable and fun to take out on the town, just like 1980s perms. So I teased you a lot, so thank you for being teasable and funny. You didn't get to see it, but he's very lovely. And then you're also very kind. So
It's
good
nice
luck
to
on
meet
your
you.
movie.
Thank you.